This centre is a public space known as the House of the Young People, located in Pamplona in northern Spain, and is normally home to live concerts and dance performances. Tonight, however, it is the venue for a period of introspection on the day in which we remember the victims of the Holocaust. For this evening's talk, Francisco Javier Blazquez is asking the question, Auschwitz, how was it possible? Mr. Blazquez is Professor of Philosophy of Law at the Public University of Navarra and has written books which deal with the subject in relation to Nazi Germany. Tabout Pamplona organised the event and explained why the subject of Auschwitz is something we are morally obliged to continue discussing.
First of all, because it's important to remember. It's important to not forget and still remember that that happened. And second of all, because it was a really traumatic event for the Jewish people and for the world. And it's quite hard to understand. So I think 70 years, maybe it's not even enough to figure why that happened.
There is a part of Holocaust that we could say is the magnitude, but beyond that magnitude it seems to me that what is supposed is that there is something unexplained, inexplicable, and that is what is most spoken about, what most books are written about, what most reports study, and there will always be something that remains unexplained, which is a matter that is close to the nucleus of acts of evil committed by the human race.
Professor Blazquez spoke for over an hour and then took questions from the audience, outlining the context of 1930s and 40s Germany that's culminated in the events at Auschwitz. The Germany he spoke about was one contaminated with anti-Semitic paranoia and conspiracy theories, a prevalent theory of racial superiority, and a Nazi party that used language to distort the image of the Jewish people.
It is an unjustifiable event. Instead of understanding it, we must try to explain. And to explain something, you have to go over the factors, what reasons, what motives, what circumstances made the Holocaust possible. For that reason, I think that we have a moral duty to always be attentive, to revise, to explain, and to remember what happened, because it is necessary. Right now, Spain is probably in a phase of recuperation of the Jewish culture that for a long time had been eclipsed, let's say. And I think that there is also interest from a cultural, intellectual and even political point of view, perhaps not so much religious, but rather a general cultural perspective that is of interest because it is recuperating a part of history, so we can learn about the heritage, deal with it better, look after it, develop it, promote it, all in order to help us respect our culture.
Here in Spain, there was a really big community in the Middle Ages, and people are starting to know about it again and are curious about how Judaism was here and how it developed and it's nowadays. And second of all, because Auschwitz is it's not only something that happened to the Jewish people. I mean, it happened to the Jewish people, but it's a traumatic event for everybody. So I think everybody wants to know how that can happen.
70 years on from the atrocities of the Holocaust, tonight's full house is both a fitting tribute to its victims and also a sign of how difficult it is for us to understand how Auschwitz was ever possible. This is Paul Walsh for JN1 in Spain.